Happy Father's Day. Just sitting here with Abraham on my first Father's Day. And yeah, just reflecting back on all of our times together. And yeah, very, very blessed to have you as a dad. Yeah, just thinking about all the times, even from like camping when we were little. Those are some of my favorite times, riding bikes at the campsite, even our long camping trips, and you teaching me how to make a fire very young, and yeah, I don't know, I just feel like I have nothing but good memories of my childhood and you being my dad, and I don't think a lot of people can say that, so I'm just super grateful for you today, probably more than usual, just because I'm getting to reflect back on yeah, and just thinking about what you were thinking when you first held me. Yeah, I just want to thank you, Dad, for, I know, all the prayers you had, and just the way that you raised me and Becca, and taught us right from wrong, and even though the discipline may have been a little laxed later in our life, I know we were well disciplined and loved children, and I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, I missed you a lot lately. I just cherish so much the years that we got to work together. And even thinking about that, like sitting in this room, Abraham's nursery, that I made with skills that you taught me, which is super awesome. And yeah, something I take for granted until you're around men who don't know how to use tools at all. But yeah, I think back to some of those first jobs, even like building Jenna's house, working at Uncle Terry's and Uncle Jeff's. Those are some of my favorite jobs, and just thinking about how blessed I was to work so many. Like I can't remember a time that you yelled at me at work, even though I did a lot of stupid things that cost us money, cost you money. I was lazy, didn't show up to work, and all these things, and you were always very patient with me, and continued to teach me. And man, there's like literally, I think I will be able to make a living one way or another for the rest of my life because of the foundation of things that you have taught me. And that's such a blessing to me, but also a blessing to him and Alexis. Yeah, I think about just thinking about the times as a kid, and like even the tree house you made us, and Becca and me, and our playground, and those times just yeah, man, our childhood was good, like really good. I love our vacations to Lake Waccamaw. I remember even just getting to homeschool in Dahlonega we all had that shop, and that was another thing that I'm so grateful for, is like having parents, two very creative, talented parents who, who taught me so many different things, artistic but also functional skills that have carried through. And like, it was so cool to see y'all create and build, and to grow up in a house that my father built with his own hands. And again, I think about getting to do some of those projects around the house, and even building the back deck, Braden in the screen porch, and like, just, I don't know, so many things to reflect on, and just so many joyful memories of. I remember that camping trip where we found bear poop or something. I don't know, you got nervous, but I also remember you like letting me throw a hatchet like at a tree, trying to get it to stick. And just such a cool thing. I also remember now I have a much better understanding, respect, and just definitely understanding for where you were coming from, when I would always borrow your tools to go out in the woods, and you were always reluctant because you knew that I would probably leave them outside, but you gave them to me anyway, and I ruined a lot of tools, but I also learned a lot of things at a young age, and because of that. And you were patient and gracious with me, and I just hope that I'm able to carry some of those traits and characteristics, into my life as I raise this little man. I don't know. Got lots of smiles today, Dad. Lots of smiles thinking about you teaching me to drive a stick. Well, even before that, me driving almost running into a house. One of the first times I ever drove. I remember when I got my learners, you had me directly drive on 400 drive home, and I was pretty scared, but probably better that you were teaching me how to drive those early days instead of Mom. Just thinking about the so many blessings, and like missing Becca. Wish she could have met him. And that's like, even reflecting on some of that, where it's like, man, there's like so many joyful years, and we had, we did have some dark moments as a family, and like all struggling with addiction, at different times. But even, around the time Becca died, it was kind of a hard time for all of us before and after her death. And but it was still like, I'm so grateful for the way that even you handled that, and Mom, and even though we were all selfish at times, and like did our own thing and ran away from God, kind of, it was like, I'm so grateful that was a foundation in our family that we could turn back to, and that is still like, it's something you take for granted, but something that a lot of other kids did not have and were not given. And so like, even when I got sober, the foundations and the prayers and all of these things that you had been building up in my life for years. They came through, and like God loved me in those ways, and he just like started to open my eyes to things that I had been taught in the past. And so grateful that like for the Black Sheep and getting to grow up in an environment like that of families who were pursuing God, and loving their kids well. I'm just excited to watch them grow up and be able to do things like you and I did, and even you coaching my ball teams. There's just like so many things I'm excited about, but also like that have me really joyful thinking back. You were such a good dad. You're such a good dad. You were imperfect and flawed, but when I think of you, those are not the things that come to my mind first. We all have flaws, and we all have our things that we struggle with, and they're painful. But the reality is, like, I just can't even express how blessed I am for the way that you allowed God to work through you and love on me. And like the first things that come to my mind when I think of you are like patient, just kind and generous. I don't remember you like ever just buying things for yourself. It was always about like, supporting your family and doing other things, and so like, yeah, you were very generous with your money, with your time, and the way, and just like watching you work and like being that example for me. I mean, golly, I think you outworked me, and you probably would today if your heart would pump that hard and you could keep going. But man, I'm blessed to be around someone who not only worked hard, but was also honest and stood by his word. Like what you said is stuff that you did. And so like, if we messed up, you were all about fixing it. It wasn't taking that shortcut or easy way out. Like, those are all of those things are allowing me to love my family well today. And also, not even just that, like, but a bigger picture, like, because of the man you were in raising me and the father you were, you glorified God in that. And ultimately, you pointed me to Jesus over and over again, because Jesus did that for you, and he is in the process of sanctifying you, still is in the process of sanctifying you. But because of that, there's so many things that were just like drilled into me that like, I don't have words to express, but like, I love you so much, Dad. And I'm so grateful for the way you love me, and I'm so grateful that you got to meet Abraham, and that we all three get some time together, maybe even some shop time this winter by the wood stove. Yeah, it is a beautiful gift, and I'm grateful that you were a good steward of fatherhood, and you loved me well, you loved our family well, and even though you were not always perfect, I will always remember our conversations about God and Jesus, and how just sitting in your truck or on our way to work every day at lunch, listening to Mark Rutland at lunch, and always having 91.5 on the radio. But our conversations were just very much centered around God, and that's the greatest gift that you could have ever given me. Is like these things, these characteristics of the patience, the honesty, the kindness, like all of these fruits of the Spirit that I don't even think you were purposely doing. It was just flowing out of you because you pursued God and you wanted to glorify Him, and your cup was overflowing with those things. And because of that, you love me well. And yeah. Oh. Come here. Come here. Well, yeah, I could go on and on, but I have. So I was just thinking about the time maybe you yelled when I threw that log on your hand and about chopped your finger off when we were throwing firewood off the truck or something. I don't know how old I was, but you weren't real happy then. But I can't remember many times that you yelled or were even really angry for the most part. And I hope that I can carry a lot of that through, and I hope that Abraham and I get to have as many conversations about God as you and I did, and in ways that we could love people around us better and love our family better. And I'll never forget it, Dan. I love you. I look forward to many more Father's Day with you and little Abraham. So I pray many more blessings for you this year. Happy Father's Day 2020, COVID Father's Day. Meh. Love you, Dad.